Hello there guys, it's Joey and this is a new product for the store. But before we get into all of that, I just want to say a quick apology. There's going to be a few less videos this week. Again, apologies to the men in the audience. You may wish to shut your ears off, but it's basically the time of the month at the minute and it's really heavy and it is knocking me for six. So I'm just taking things a little bit steady, a little bit easier. There may or may not be certain videos this week depending on how I feel later in the day, today and tomorrow. But at the minute I just feel like going back to bed. So I thought I would video two items that require their videos to be done, as I may or may not be doing a bit more crafting today as well. So the first one is Hedgewitch Powder, and this is something that I created at Samhain at dusk. And it's something different, and basically I was sort of guided to make this alongside the Blade of Avalon oil by Mama Morrigan. And Hedgewitch Powder is first and foremost coming in this cute little jar. I'm going to make a few items available in these little jars. I think I really like them with the little decal, the moon on it, just the same as the moon on the smudges. So this is Hedgewitch Powder, which combines a few different ingredients, but the main thing which is different, and I was called to collect it, was some hedgerow dirt. I went to the hedgerows, as I frequently do on spiritual occasions, and I went at Samhain at dusk, which is one of the most amazing times of the day and is my personal favourite magical time. I collected hedgerow powder and dried it out myself and imbued it with magical energies and combined it with different herbs to really create an item which I haven't seen anywhere before and is something dear to my heart and came to me through the Morrigan. And it therefore takes the idea of other dirts and powders. You can get things like graveyard dirt and other powders and things, and shifts it a little bit into something which is a little bit close to my heart. So the hedgerows, the borders, the barriers are quintessentially English. They're a very English way of dividing the land. They are a very English witchcraft way of looking at the world. There is a lot of lore involved in the hedgerows, particularly in England. It's not exclusively an English thing, but it is quite quintessentially English in terms of witchcraft and the way that crossing the hedge is something known in English magic. The hedgerows sort of take on a duality. At first there is this borders and this barriers idea, and that means that the hedgerow powder, the Hedgewitch Powder, is imbued for the idea of creating barriers and borders to your magical space and in keeping all of your magical energy within your space and keeping out anything that you don't want in your space. Additionally, there is the idea of crossing the hedgerow, which is to do with your spiritual growth, with accessing the other worlds, with connecting to the energies of and spirits of plants in particular, plant devas, tree devas, the energy of nature's around you, connecting to the old wild magics, which is something I talk about a lot and have a deep reverence and respect for, connecting with plant deva energy and really forming bonds with trees in particular and hedgerows and the spirits of the plants around is something which I think is an incredibly beautiful process in understanding and connecting to the energies of life forms which are so different to our own but have so much to teach us. And the hedgerow powder can be utilised in spell workings to do with taking the next step crossing those barriers, learning to grow and evolve. And I keep feeling a little bit of a push-pull with energies at the minute. Like, there are so many things that I want to grow into, and I keep finding myself a little bit blocked, a little bit unsure of myself. And I created the Hedgewitch Powder for myself, and I'm offering some on the store as well. So that's the idea behind it, is not only is it creating a sacred and safe place for you with your powder, but it means that it challenges you a little bit to really think outside your box, to challenge your own borders and where you've placed them, and have you placed them correctly, and pushing your limits and crossing the hedge and evolving yourself as a witch to grow, to not remain, to not be stagnant, because witchcraft cannot be stifled, it cannot be stagnant, or it will wither. Much like plants, it needs the air to breathe, the ground to grow, the roots need to spread, and that's the energy interwoven into the Hedgewitch Powder. Let's zoom in a little bit so you can see what the product actually looks like. And I left some of the herbs a little bit thicker. I was in two minds about whether to grind everything into a completely fine powder or to leave some little bits in, and I decided I like it better with a little bit more plant life in it. You can see what's in it a little bit more, that there are other things in there, and that they've it kind of gives the plants a little bit more of a recognition than when it's ground into a very, very fine powder, which is just a personal preference thing. So one of these, and I will continue to make them probably, not probably, I'm going to carry on making them because I do really enjoy this energy. I think it's lovely. Will be available on store soon, and I will be keeping this particular one for myself. Many blessings.